was 14th.
Primož Roglič the fastest of all through the second timing point, albeit worth noting that most of the top 10 runners still to make an appearance there, but he was quicker than Matteo Jorgensen and quicker too than your current top time set by Luke Plapp at the finish line. So Slovenian's going well at the moment, not least this man. Tadej Pogačar settling himself in nicely with fastest time through the first intermediate point. Jorgensen through the line. Is he going to unseat Luke Plapp? It's going to be really close, this one. I don't think he's going to go to get there. And Matteo Jorgensen, the latest, not quite to beat Luke Plapp. I think that tells us that certainly a top 10 on for Plapp, and probably a little bit better than that.
Possibly, yeah. I said it was a very good time. It possibly a winning performance, but you've got some good riders still to come, including this man here.
So how does this bike feel now for Remco Evenepoel? That's Romain Bardet is watching behind, and he's now, I mean, he's on this mountain. He's in a position where he's on the bullhorns, right and left. Just how it's very straight armed.
Aerodynamics come into play at the start, and who was the fastest in a normal bike? Pogačar.
Yes, now behind Remco Evenepoel, the world champion on yellow and white jersey. Interesting thing, he's not riding with on the bars. He's riding on the drops. It looks like he's a bit suffering. He's the third guy passing us with the TT bike, but he's the only one climbing on the drops, and it's only 6 or 7% gradients. It doesn't have a very high cadence. We've seen before Lipovic very comfortable to handle the TT position, and yeah, it looks like Remco is suffering a bit more.
That's great insight from Romain Bardet. I mean, we had spotted that he was on the bullhorn, so he's not getting the advantage from the aerodynamic skis, but Lipovic was able to do it.
Look, you want the advantage, and we're looking at everything. There's very few riders that have gone for the time trial bike today, and when you're climbing like this, you don't want to have your arms close to you want to open up your chest and try and get the air in. You don't want to close it, and that's why he's riding in the drops. This is where he flew up the mountain yesterday. This is almost the same bike, slightly different to the one he had yesterday, but almost the same bike, maybe a bit lighter here and there, but he's in a position where he's just flying up. He's sitting upright. I said just a moment ago where the time trial advantage came in was in the first part of the stage, and Pogačar's been fastest there. There's only 4 riders now that I see Lipovic on a time trial bike, and the only rider, as Bardet just said, the only rider riding in that time trial position is Lipovic.
Well, he looks absolutely nailed on, doesn't he? He looks really in control of his effort in a time trial position. It works if you're on the skis. If you're not on the skis, it really is it's a liability, the time trial bike. You can only do it if it feels right. 5th fastest for Felix Gall. Luke Plapp still your fastest man on the mountain. Top 10 performance, I think, is pretty much guaranteed at this point, albeit there are a few riders who've been quite a bit quicker than him through the intermediate split points to this point. Primož Roglič among them, surely going to the top spot for a little while, or is there well, at this point it says that he's no, surely not.
This is going to be fastest.
He's going to be fastest. I think that was a slightly, that was maybe showing a GPS advantage.
This could be 24.5, Declan. This is a super time trial. I thought Luke Plapp and just under 25 would have been a phenomenal result for him, but these guys are absolutely flying up here. At the second checkpoint, Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe are sitting first and second, but we still got some top time trialists and mountain goats still to come.
Pogačar, that's his relative time to Jonas Vingegaard on the hill right now, and further gains being made in general classification, potentially a 4th stage victory. No Bardet, saving every single milligram. The belief is that he's going to spend virtually no time whatsoever on the drops there. He's going to stay on the tops, on the Peyragudes.
Do you remember the time trial performance that Vingegaard said was his best ever performance on a bike, where he was within sight of Pogačar? We might see the opposite today.
hasn't quite. He's had a much more benign play into this year's Tour de France than last year, and yet quite able to get on terms. And getting on terms with the top spot is Primož Roglič. He's coming to unseat Luke Plapp. It's been a long time coming. Just 200 metres and over a minute in hand. Remco Evenepoel not looking as comfortable in the time trial as we normally see him, and he's losing quite a significant amount of time at this moment, having been well, quite quick through the first intermediate split, but it's all gone backwards from there. And in contrast to Lipovic, he's on the bullhorns on the outside of the bars and looks all together at 6s and 7s. Primož Roglič rising to the top in Peyragudes and rising to the top of the timesheets. Slovenian veteran. This is going to be a top 3 performance. It's going to be a massive performance. Roglič goes to the top, and finally Luke Plapp is unseated. And Roglič, well, will he hang on to that one today? You wouldn't bet on it, but nonetheless, that's going to be a renewed performance from the Slovenian. Comebacks on for Primož Roglič. What about Jonas Vingegaard? Well, as he rises and makes his way through to the second intermediate point, certainly look good against Primož Roglič. Question is, what's happening behind him on the road?
This is incredible, this time trial.
Huge gulfs.
Yeah. Absolutely. The difference between Plapp is I thought he'd done a tremendous performance today, and he's gone into second at 37 seconds. He's packing up. He's been sat there all day.
We haven't even seen him.
But to go through that second time check, Vingegaard's 29 seconds. That's chunks. That's not seconds. It's chunks. And Pogacar's going even faster. We're going to see something at 23.
Different scale. Luke Plapp's average speed, remember, was 26.2 kilometers per hour, and 0.7 of a kilometer per hour is quite the gulf, it has to be said, between Luke Plapp and Primož Roglič. And there's even faster coming on the hill behind him. It's going to be north of 27 kilometers per hour, and the rest, I think. There we go, on the big ring and up towards the top of the block. Wind that chain around the biggest sprocket possible. It's the most efficient way.
But look at Pogacar's style, just sitting upright, smash another. I tell you what, I'm just going to take almost another 30 seconds off your time. This is an incredible. I've never seen a time trial like that. 24 seconds, where the main contenders, apart from Remco, he's still in the game. They're just smashing lumps out each other. Pogacar goes through in 14:23. 24 seconds in front of Vingegaard, 53 seconds in front of Roglič, 101 in front of Lipovic, 120 in front of Evenepoel. This is incredible.
He's on a different planet. It's absolutely extraordinary stuff. He's in a class of one, and he's soaring to glory. There's no doubt about that. Remco Evenepoel, altogether more challenging and chastening experience. He's found a way to get back on the skis, but he's leaking time to Primož Roglič, and others could potentially be tumbling down general classification here a little bit, as the World Time Trial champion just finds his back is not able to prevent him from going into the less aerodynamic and altogether less advantageous position out on the bullhorns. Has to make a little bit of an adjustment, and yeah, that was
gear problem.
It looks a clunky one, as if it went down from the big ring onto the small ring.
He had it last year, didn't he, in the time trial, and he managed to get rid of it. And second time in a time trial on a tour, he's managed to get rid of it as well without stopping.
Difficult moments all round for Remco Evenepoel. Kevin Vauquelin, potential, no, he's not going to be anywhere close. And this is, yeah, I mean, it's kind of replicating, mirroring his performance in Tour de Suisse, where he lost a lot of time to Joao Almeida in a mountain time trial, despite the fact he's quite good in rolling courses. And he's sort of hit and miss with the time trials. So occasionally he can produce an absolutely massive one, and then occasionally he's a mile away. Worryingly, might be, well, ideally somewhere in between is about the best he can hope for at this point. Vingegaard, meanwhile, ploughs on regardless. It's going to be a very impressive second best the way things are going at the moment, but that's all he can hope for.
Yeah, you can see Evenepoel just doesn't look. He's sweating a lot. I saw it yesterday where they're pouring a lot of water. Everybody was, but I think more so Evenepoel. He just doesn't look as if he's enjoying this, and you know, he's leaking a lot of time. This is the man that's in ascendancy, Lipovic. Lipovic is doing a real good ride here, and you know, moving up into that very close to that podium spot.
As you can see, fourth fastest through the second timing point. Tadej Pogačar on Planet Pog at the moment, 23.9 seconds faster than Jonas Vingegaard. Kevin Vauquelin at the outer reaches of the top 10, 1 minute 33 slower than Pogačar through that point, but he'll come to the line, albeit not in a position to unseat Primož Roglič from top spot. Vingegaard.
So I just run off as Vauquelin finishes here. Primož Roglič is fastest at 24.20. Plav was at 37 seconds. Jorgensen at 42. Oscar Onley 45 seconds down. We never saw him finish. Yates was at 54. Martinez 1 minute. Vauquelin at 1:14. So there could be some significant changes in the general classification here, but Oscar Onley currently fourth.
Not a bad effort. I mean, he's going to lose a bit of time, or is he, to Florian Lipovic? That's what we expect at the line here. Lipovic getting it all out again, not going to unseat, so it's bragging rights in the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe squad to Primož Roglič today, who's pieced together a very nice effort indeed. Meanwhile, under the kite, and the purgatory of the most challenging kilometre of this time trial still remains for Remco Evenepoel.
I doubt Remco Evenepoel is going to beat Plapp. By the looks of things, I think it's going to be very close to 25.
He was quicker than Plapp through the second split, but that bike's going to be a problem, isn't it, for the rest of this time trial. Let's bring Lipovic home. Second fastest, 1-2 at the moment for the Red Bull squad. Primož Roglič has it today from Florian Lipovic, albeit 35 seconds gained by Primož Roglič.
Yeah, we never saw Oscar Onley finish there. He was only 16 seconds behind Lipovic. A tremendous effort there by the young Scot.
Roglič was almost 2 minutes down on general classification to Lipovic starting the day, so he's pared back about 34 seconds of that.
Here we go. This is Vingegaard, and he's got Evenepoel in his sights.
Well, that would be remarkable, given that they started 2 minutes apart. So, well, not in terms of catching him on the hill, surely not. Remco Evenepoel, fifth through the.
You might get very close to him. He's within sight.
Well, that would be an extraordinary collapse for the white jersey.
There he is, just there, up ahead.
Well, that is absolutely remarkable, and this ramp is an unforgiving one. Final 500 metres, comfortably the most uncomfortable of this time trial. It just ramps up to in excess of 17% in points. And that time trial helmet, ungainly enough, looking enough as it is, doesn't seem to be a huge impediment to its progress. I mean, if you lifted it, it'd be feather light. It just isn't anything as light as the helmet that Tadej Pogačar is wearing at the moment. 55.38, I think, is the setup that he has in terms of big ring, little ring. For those of you that like to count these things,
I think it's going to be close to a minute. The amount of time that Pogačar is going to take back on Vingegaard.
And here he comes. You're absolutely right. And Remco Evenepoel in a fight not to be claimed for 2 whole minutes on the hill by Jonas Vingegaard, and that's a considerable carrot, a really useful aid to Jonas Vingegaard.
It's over 25 minutes. Said that over 25. He's not even going to beat Plapp.
Yeah, it's quite the failure really in the final 3 kilometres for Remco Evenepoel. By his standards, it's something of a collapse. He's 1:18 to the good at the moment. It's what he has in hand to get to the line to beat Primož Roglic's time. This could be a humiliating moment for Remco Evenepoel.
Yeah, the Olympic champion. He's going to get caught. Vingegaard is finishing a lot quicker than Evenepoel.
And this will hurt, as if it wasn't already hurting for Remco Evenepoel. He's overhauled for 2 minutes in the run to the line by Jonas Vingegaard, who will go to the top spot for now at any rate. Second starting the day and putting fully 44 seconds into Primož Roglič. And over 2 minutes into Remco Evenepoel. Well, Peyragudes has claimed a few victims today. Well, the leading riders are just driving a further wedge between themselves and the rest, because here comes Tadej Pogačar. He's got 1:20, well, almost a minute and a half to get to the line from here, and he's into the final 200 metres. Slam dunk. It's going to be a fourth stage victory of Tour de France 2025 for the reigning champion, the yellow jersey, and the man who is fundamentally imperious. He's on a different scale on this climb once again, and Tadej Pogačar, Jonas Vingegaard, top spot by a considerable gulf to the rest, but he is going to lose further time, having started the day 3 minutes and 31 seconds down on Tadej Pogačar. It's going to be another 30 seconds or more, as Pogačar, we've barely seen him in this because there's been so many sensational performances on this mountain, but the Peyragudes is now owned by the reigning champion. It's a 21st stage success in his career. Pogačar claims stage 13.
23 minutes dead, almost. 36 seconds in front of Vingegaard. 36 seconds. 120 in front of Roglič, who is the best of the rest. And even Roglič was 26 seconds quicker than his teammate. Then it would come down to smaller seconds. But 36 seconds. The top three there of Pogačar, Vingegaard and Roglič, head and shoulders above everybody else. The time gaps are huge.
Absolutely huge. It's a 30th Grand Tour stage success for Primož Roglič, a 21st in the Tour de France. He eclipses the Grand Tour list of Gino Bartali, whose 120th birthday it would have been today.
Pogačar is going to lead this race by over 4 minutes. Evenepoel luckily will hang on to third place, but Lipovic is coming. Lipovic is only a matter of a handful of seconds behind Evenepoel now, 6 seconds. Only he moves up to 5th place now, above Voikelen. Roglič is up to 7th place now. Johannesson drops back into 8th place. Felix Gall 9th. Jorgensen still in 10th. Ben Healy still in 11th.
He gave it a swing. But no one, I mean, in the same postcode as Tadej Pogačar in terms of performance. 21st career success in the Tour de France for Tadej Pogačar. It's 4th success in this particular edition of the event. It's a further 36 seconds ahead of Jonas Vingegaard. Pogačar takes the victory on Peyragudes, and he's further ahead on GC. Who can possibly get to him? Well, now let's try and absorb the information of the day. Tadej Pogačar, imperious as was expected to that extent. Well, maybe 23 minutes and 0.19. He'd probably be disappointed he didn't quite break the 23 minutes barrier and get it into the 22:59. At any rate, that can be the only disappointment of the day. It was an absolutely perfect, pitch perfect performance from Tadej Pogačar. Jonas Vingegaard at 36.69. Roglič 120 down. Lipovic, Plapp, Jorgensen, only Yates and the rest.
Started, but you know that. Come on, you get on the pedals and you go for it. Come on, you get to.
Yeah, use for carrot there for Jonas Vingegaard, none other than the world time trial champion, leader of the young rider classification, the man sitting in 3rd place overall, and Remco Evenepoel's overall ambitions for glory in this event lion tatters at this one point.
Le premier français, 6e, Primoz Roglic est 7e, Tobias Johannessen prend la 8e place du classement général, Félix Gall est 9e, et le top 10 est complété comme ce matin par l'américain Matteo Jorgensen. Voilà,
And it's Tadej Pogacar's boss. Let's hear from Maro Giannetti.